It's official. I've started it. I've set up everything needed to start the podcast, man. Can I just get a round of applause? You can clap if you want to. You know what? I think there's a setting on here for you for claps. I think there is. There's got to be. Hold up. All right, settle down, settle down. Again, it's here. I'm here. Teo's Tantrum. Welcome to the podcast. If you don't like the name, it's okay. I'm gonna rant a lot, a lot, but I'm really just letting you know what's in my brain, how I feel, and what needs to be done. But this podcast, it's gonna be everywhere, really. I'm a basketball enthusiast. I love the game. I love everything about it, the people in it, how it's formed, how it just pure entertainment on the court and off the court. Because a lot of things that are just hilarious. But not only are we going to talk about basketball on this podcast, I might dabble into a little bit of the football side, give some input. I'm a Packers fan. Let's get that out the way. I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. And as you can see on my hoodie, Rockets Nation. We're here, live in effect. And I have a lot to discuss about that. A lot. But again, pure intro, first episode, Teo's Tantrum. I'm here to talk about, again, basketball, sports in general, but also what it's like progressing in your 20s. You know, a friend of mine, Zaharias, she has a podcast. You know, I'll when I remember it by name, that's a L take. I'm so sorry, Zaharia. But, you know, it's about your 20s. And she kind of inspired this little inspo for me to talk about it a little bit, just a tad bit. There's going to be episodes where I dabble a lot into it. Sometimes I just barely briefly talk about it. But Zahari, don't hate me. I'm so sorry. I forgot the name off the top of my head. And I feel like it's something so simple, too. Something about your 20s, probably. If it is, like, I'm the guy. But, you know, my bad. I failed you. But anyway, I'm very excited. Very, very excited. You know, I've talked about it a lot on my Instagram amongst my friends. I want to start a pod. I want to. And a lot of them are going to be showing up on here too. A lot of them are going to be joining us, getting some different insight, you know, jumping off each other, you know what I mean, bouncing ideas, but really just to discuss ball, the narrative behind it. And as you can see, I'm not really directly looking at the camera just yet, just trying to make sure I got everything set up correctly. So if it looks like I might even look at the camera, trust me, give me some time. I will adapt. But I wanted to start off with how well the Houston Rockets are doing. Now, again, I am a Houston Rockets fan, and I just want to touch on it because this episode is really going to be about trades. And as you know, February 2nd, I was going to say blockbuster, one of the biggest NBA trades in history has to be. And I'm only 22. Now, I'm saying history as in my lifetime within the probably 15 years prior to my lifetime's history. Okay? But we'll dabble into it. Again, I want to briefly talk about my joy in the Houston Rockets. Now, this team is ran by youth, potential, what ifs. I wouldn't even say really what ifs, to be honest, because we already know, we've established we're here. We are here and live and in effect. And the reason I became a Houston Rockets fan is growing up, you know, you play video games. I was always picking T-Mac and Yao Ming. Never really had a reason back then, but that was just my squad. And if you'd have asked me, yo, you run 2K? Bet. All right, we're going to run play now rather than my career. This is before my career was jumping as it is right now. But I'm picking the Rockets. As I got older, it turned into James Harden. James Harden is my favorite basketball player of all time. As much hate as he gets, James Harden is that guy. He is the third best shooting guard of all time. No disrespect to Dwayne Wade, but when you really think and sit back, yes, D Wade has his rings. He's accomplished a lot as a player, but James Harden was just announced an all-star. Let me repeat that. I think this is 11th all-star. Let me look that up real quick. James Harden is doing this at the age of 35. D Wade was not doing this at 35. Let's go back. So we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, including this season, 11 All-Stars. 11. Dude, it's 35. And yes, I know. LeBron is a GOAT. LeBron's always going to make an all-star team. He's just that guy. But when we're talking about James Harden and D Wade as the number 3 best shooting guard of all time, again, Jordan and Kobe, somebody has to be number 3. The race is only between James and Dwayne, and James is number 3. Check the stats. He is a hooper. Defensive liability at times, but he will show up. The man averaged 2 steals like a couple seasons, if not maybe 1 or 2. Fact check. Basketball Reference. 2014-2015 season, 1.9 steals, 2 steals. 2012-13 season, 1.8. Now, I'm not saying he's locking you down, sitting in the chair, but he does have the mindset of lane watching. He'll get a deflection. He'll get an interception. He may even pick your pocket. That's not the greatest defense possible. There is more to defense. We all know that. Amen Thompson is a perfect example. But he shows himself. And I'm not saying he's the worst defender possible, because that's by all means not true. There are plenty of players worse at defense than James Harden. But he shows. And I feel like his scoring, his offense is one of the best to ever come into the NBA. And I'm taking that over Dwayne Wade. But enough about that. Again, Rockets fan for lifer. Been through the hard, the good, the bad, the ugly, the amazing, the disappointing. Been through it all. As of right now, we are 32-16. A horrible, embarrassing loss to the Brooklyn Nets last night, February 1st. It's just a sad game. Nobody wanted to play. Nobody showed up for nothing. Like, it was disappointing. I honestly wanted to turn the game off, but I'm such a loyal fan that I'm going to sit through it. And I did. Amen Thompson, as an amazing player as he is, did not show up yesterday. And he has some good plays here and there, but the Brooklyn Nets, we went toe-to-toe with the Celtics, the Cavs, the Grizzlies, top 5 teams in the league right now. And we let the Brooklyn Nets do us like that? They're in the midst of a rebuild. They're in the midst of going for Cooper Flag. So that was definitely an embarrassing loss. But again, this isn't something to be worried about. All right, we have the 24th ranked easiest schedule of the remainder of the season. And by all means, I'm not worried. We are a playoff lock team. This team is surrounded by great potential. They're a family. You can see it on the court. They're a family. They hold each other accountable. Coach Ime is phenomenal. He is what Houston needed since the departure of James Harden. Now, the reason why I'm completely not worried is we still don't have Jabari. Wait till he comes back. Alperen sat out for 2 games. Wait till he comes back. Fred, I'm worried about right now because he definitely had to leave, I want to say like second quarter of the game last night. But if we end up shipping him for a De'Aaron Fox, we're looking great. Jalen Green, as inconsistent as he can be, has been looking consistent. Now, of course, he's had a couple games where he shot stanky. But he's going to find a way to put 20 on that board. And that's all that matters. As long as you put the ball through the hoop and it contributes to winning, do what you have to do. He's only 22. Cut him some slack. There are a lot of players in this league who are continually inconsistent. Now, of course, All-Star is coming up soon. And if I'm not mistaken, Anthony Davis might not play. He might. I'm not completely sure. But somebody is coming in for a sub. Reserves are going to get pushed around. For one, Alperen Sengun, well-deserved. And at the end of the day, of course, you have to put a Houston Rocket there. They're the second best team in the West, record-wise, overall-wise. They're a top 5 team in the league, overall-wise. You have to put a Houston Rocket in that All-Star game. I'm happy it's Alperen Sengun. A lot of people are saying it should be somebody else. Again, Domantas Sabonis has an amazing case for why he got snubbed. The dude is averaging 22, 14, and 7. But unfortunately, the Kings aren't looking like the Kings of 2 years ago. One that is going toe-to-toe with the Golden State Warriors in the first round, which went to 7 games. But hey, you win some, you lose some. Another case to make it in there, though, is Jalen Green. He's averaging 22, 4, 3, shooting almost 40% from the field at the 3 for the month of January till now. He's shooting around 43%. Let's fact check, shall we? He's doing this, averaging, he's giving us consistent minutes. He's giving us health. Many people don't realize that being healthy is one of the best things you can get from a star player, from any player. Anybody that's on that court contributes to winning. If you're healthy, that's plus 10 because we need everyone to stay healthy. Now, again, Jalen Green is averaging, 22, 4, and 3, shooting 35% from 3. Again, could be better, but could be a lot worse. Career high this season, 42, tied with his career high, 42. He's even mentioned before that he wants to pass that, and we all want him to. Get your buckets, King. But the Houston Rockets are just a phenomenal team. Even though, again, horrible loss yesterday. But I have no doubt in my mind that can't guarantee a championship with this roster. Let's be honest. It's youth. Everybody's too young. Not too young is a strong word, but because, Luka, as phenomenal he is, went to a conference finals with his youth. But it's going to come off with playoff experience. Can they do it? Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, Steven Adams. We don't even know how long they might be on the team. Hopefully they get to stay. I'm not really mad if they ship Fred VanVleet. It's understandable. But if we keep him, I'm not mad either. He's reliable. Sometimes he can be pretty washed. Doesn't really score the ball well. But he's going to make the necessary pass. He's going to lead the offense. And that's what we need. We need a leader. And so if we do end up shipping him for, say, De'Aaron Fox, I wouldn't be 100% ecstatic happy because, again, why mess up the 1000% chemistry we have. Again, these guys are family. They work hard together. But I wouldn't be mad again. Like, it's De'Aaron Fox. He's 27. He's playing some great basketball. We really need shooting. I really wish we were in the Cam Johnson. That's Johnson. Cam Johnson sweepstakes. That would be amazing to have him on our team. But we have so much wing play that it would just push people to the bench. And I don't want that. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. But I feel like that's enough about the Rockets. I can definitely talk about them all day, every day. I feel like I can get into that into a further episode. But again, Houston Rockets, Green Bay Packers, those are my teams. I am loyal to soil. Um, I love my teams. Sometimes I can be disappointed about the decisions they make, but I feel like that's every fan of every franchise or whatever team you like. There's always going to be that disappointing thing, and we're going to get right into it. But first, let's talk about the positive. Again, if I hit the mic and it echoed, I apologize. But the biggest trade to happen in a very long time. Before I get to it, though, let's talk about the small stuff that's happened. February 1st, Los Angeles Clippers are trading PJ Tucker, Mo Bamba, and future second-round picks and cash to Utah for Drew Eubanks and Patty Mills. Good trade. Get off PJ's contract. He might be bought out. In Utah, hopefully that's the plan because a lot of people can use a PJ Tucker. Excuse me. A lot of people can use a PJ Tucker right now. I mean, he's sitting at home. Pick him up. The vet minimum. Somebody can use him. Houston Rockets use him. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, do what you need to do, right? We know before the Clips traded 3 first-round picks. No, vice versa. Jazz traded 3 first-round pick swaps, I believe, to the Clippers for their 2029 pick. Again, I don't really have everything up in front of me to just continue to give you 100% facts. I'm going off what I remember, but next time I'll be a little bit more prepared, in my notes. But I'm really just looking at Twitter, keeping up to date with certain things. But the Clips are making moves. They need to. They're the oldest team in the league, and they're trying to make a good push to the playoffs. Now, granted, everybody in the top 5 seeds of East and West, wow, I have a bad stutter. East and West have a good chance of going to their conference championship. The Clippers, if they can remain healthy, they got Kawhi back. If they can make a little bit more noise, why not? Make the push. You have James Harden playing great basketball as the system because James is the system. He's getting it done. That's why he's named an all-star this season. But enough about that. Next piece of news, unfortunate as it is, DeJounte Murray suffered a season-ending torn Achilles. It just sucks. It really does. Dyson Daniels was right, man. There's something in that water in New Orleans. They make all these moves to put DeJounte here in New Orleans. And a full healthy team, you got to remember, full healthy. That's DeJounte, CJ, Brandon Ingram, Zion, Yves Messi. That's a nice team when healthy, but nobody is healthy. That's the problem. It's just sad to see him go. But if anything, move Brandon Ingram. Please move him. Get into the Kings sweepstake. Why not? The Kings should go after them. The minute they get rid of De'Aaron Fox, they need to start making moves too. I mean, it's not like they're just going for rebuild after making this trade. Go and get somebody. Brandon Ingram's available. I would do it. Figure it out. Make a 3-team deal with the Heat. Figure it out. He's worth it. Healthy Brandon Ingram is a nice, solid offensive jump that the Kings need. Yes, you have DeMar DeRozan. And even under Doug Christie, DeMar has been looking outstanding. Outstanding. But you need more. You need more wins. And this is something that needs to last until the playoffs. We need to make the playoffs is what the Kings should be saying. And if De'Aaron Fox needs to go, he needs to go. Even though he's playing great, we're winning games with him. But if we want to have complete peace of mind that we can focus on the game and what's on the court, make moves. Brandon Ingram should be on their target list. What else should I be bringing up as far as trade wise? I don't think there's really much else quite yet. Quite yet. We know trade deadline ends Thursday. I believe that is the 6th, February 6th. I think so. Yes, February 6th. Today's the 2nd. But let's talk about it. Get it out the way. The Lakers trade Anthony Davis, Max Christie, 2029 Lakers first round pick. That noise in the background, I completely apologize. I live in a house with an added basement, meaning there's pipes that run through the bottom of this house that are not supposed to be interfered with. But this person decided to build a basement in this house. So again, it might come up like every 30 minutes. But I guess it all depends on the motion of the pod. But back to what I was saying. The Lakers trade Anthony Davis, Max Christie, their 2029 first round pick for Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris. And then the Jazz get Jalen Hood-Schifino, 2025 Clippers second, and then a 2025 Mavericks second. How do the Lakers do it? How? They go from Magic, Kobe, Shaq, LeBron, and AD, respectively. They did win a ring. To now Luka Doncic? Rob Pelinka. All I can do is clap. Here, you know what? You get a clap. You get a clap. I mean, wow. For a team that's put on the spot, trade. You have nothing. All you have is your 29 and 31, probably one of the most valuable draft picks prior to this trade in the league. And you only had to give up 2029 to get a top three player in the NBA. You only had to give up one pick. Now let's backtrack in life. Rudy Gobert, 4 picks. Mikal Bridges, 6. Luka Doncic, 1. Round of applause. Now, prior to this pick, the Lakers didn't look great. That's why they made moves. Now, it should have been a smaller move. If you really think back, the team it just needed a big. AD acts, we need a big. Valanciunas is available. Find a way to go get him. Forget all that. We're going and we're getting. They're not even going because Dallas reached out to them. I have so much I want to say about it, but I just want to look back at the fact that let's put ourselves in the phone call between Mavs and Lakers, right? Hey, we won 80. What's the asking price? You want Anthony Davis? Have you lost your mind? We'll give you Luka. AD has his bag packed already. We'll send him right to you. There's no other way that phone call should have went. Think about it. You're offering me Luka Doncic, top 3 superstar. Again, Luka. Let's go to his stats, man. Luka has. Do you understand? Luka's sophomore season, 2019 to 2020, he was fourth in MVP votes. The MVP odds, he was 4th. Sophomore season. Do you think that's all? No. Luka has made an all-star. NBA all-star every single season from his sophomore year to his current. Now, unfortunately, Luka's not the healthiest right now, but when he is, do you understand that this man is making all NBA first team? Um, I don't think you understand. He's made all NBA first team since 2019 and 2020. And like we just talked about, his sophomore season. How old is he again? 25. Luka is 25 years old. Dallas, are you joking? Are you joking? Man, what it would be like to be a Mavericks fan right now. I'm so sorry this had to happen to you. So sorry. So sorry, man. This Luka Doncic is a Los Angeles Laker. All right, the pros about it. Again, they traded their 2029 first round pick, which is now nothing. Remember what Luka did on his lonesome before Kyrie. Again, he's always in top 5 in votes for MVP. For the odds, top 5 always. He's averaging near triple doubles every season. And now going to the Lakers, you have him, Reeves, LeBron, Vanderbilt, Jackson Hayes, Rui Hachimura. I mean, this team is lacking in that front court. Lacking. But the Lakers have nothing to worry about for the next 10 years. LeBron's gone. We have Luka. We have Luka Doncic. What is there to worry about? When healthy, top 3 player in the NBA. Now, the reason the Mavs moved Luka is because of condition concerns. They say he's up to 270 pounds. Due for a supermax extension. Will he be in shape? I don't know. It's best we move him. Do you know the New Orleans Pelicans have a similar player with that amount of weight? And he hasn't even been on the court. Yet, he still remains a New Orleans Pelicans. Zion is nowhere near Luka Doncic. Yet, he is still a Pelican. Why? They have hope. They think that Zion is going to work miracles for them. So they keep him. We're talking about Zion. Why trade Luka? Luka will perform miracles for you. He went to the Western Conference Finals a year before last. Went to the West, not the West. He went to the NBA Finals last year. That hope is answered. He is your savior. Dallas, he is your savior. But you move him because you're concerned. He's pulling James Harden when he wanted to leave Houston. Get fat. You're telling me you can't do some 4 flights of stairs 10 times a day, 5 times a week, and get back in shape? James Harden did. But it's just sad, man. But again, the positive. The Lakers get Luka for the next 10 years. They have nothing to worry about. Now you build around that. And again, the Lakers are not going to do nothing this season. Let's be honest. They have probably one of the most watched, we're not cutting that out, but they're going to have one of the most tuned in games possible for the rest of the season. Let's be honest. Luka and LeBron James when healthy, but they're not doing nothing this playoffs. They're not getting a ring with that lineup. It's unfortunate. to really hold LeBron accountable for the remainder of the season to get you that ring. I hope that's not what they think is going to happen. As crazy as it would seem, if it did happen, then you have to just give MVP to Luka at that point. If he gets you guys to the finals at least, that's insane with that roster. I mean, it is LeBron and Luka, but still, like, that's not possible. But it is possible. I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't think it's gonna happen. My biased opinion. But let's talk about the, and again, they get Maxi Kleba and Markieff Morris. Okay. The Mavericks. As disappointing as that trade is, again, you got rid of your franchise, your miracle, your savior, Luka Doncic. You got rid of him because you feel as defense is the answer. True, defense wins games. But you went for Glassman? AD is having a phenomenal season. You got to give him credit. He has been as healthy as much as you can ask for him to be healthy. I mean, we know seasons prior he hasn't been looking the healthiest. He's only played last year he played 76 games. And that's what you asked for. You want that from AD. But the year before that, 56 games, 40 games before that, 36 games before that. I mean, AD is not the healthiest man ever. But when he is hooping. Right now, he's averaging 26 points, 2 blocks, a steal, 3 assists, and 12 rebounds a game, shooting 50, 30%, and 78% from the free throw line. I mean, you have to account for the fact that AD is 31, turning 32 in March. Kyrie's 32, turning 33 soon. As win now as they may seem, there's no guarantee. The Celtics are the Celtics. The Cavaliers are an up-and-coming rise of NBA Finals potential. Before that, I mean, the Cavs were a good playoff team, but they look like they could really win that ring. You have to fear that. The Thunder, I mean, the Thunder are in your conference. If you're playing them when Chet gets back, if he's the Chet we know prior to injury, who's stopping Shea? Again, Anthony Davis is an amazing player. Kyrie is an amazing player. But we've seen this before with Kyrie. I'm the star of the team. I got it. It didn't work out. Now, Kyrie's not a horrible player. Kyrie is great. He is a great player. That's why they gave him the keys and shipped Luka. But Kyrie and AD are not giving you this ring this season. Next year, who knows? Who knows? I feel like the Dallas Mavericks are making more moves. I mean, they have a lot of bigs. PJ Washington, Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, Dwight Powell. I mean, is there more that could be done with Dallas? Possibly. But I just don't feel like trading for AD and giving up your franchise, your miracle boy, was the best decision. Again, AD is turning 32 next month, March. But do you understand how much money AD is getting? He's making $67 million when he turns 35. Now, this is a contract that's well deserved. Is Anthony Davis. I mean, when he's healthy, again, he is by far top 10 player in the league. But let's look at his contract. This year, 43 mil. Next year, $54 million. The year after, 58. And 2027 to 2028, he's making 63 million. Excuse me, I said 67. 63 million. Is it worth it? Was it worth it giving up a 25-year-old superstar for an aging, soon to exit his prime? Hate to say it. It's going to happen. The older you get, it's inevitable. Unless you're LeBron. And I'm not saying AD is just going to hold them back. By all means, AD is going to help them. He's going to contribute to their wins. I mean, AD is one of the best defenders to play basketball. He, by all means, could win Defensive Player of the Year if Victor Wembanyama was not alive. Let's be honest. Vic is getting that easily. As much as AD can hate on it, Vic is winning that. But it's questionable. Do you really think you guys can win now with this lineup? You run Kyrie, Clay, potentially Quentin Grimes, Najee Marshall. If they want to go big, they put PJ at the 3. PJ at the 3. Then you got AD at the 4. Daniel Gafford starting center or Derek Lively. However it goes about due to health. Is that the right and the best move you could have done? Again, potentially. Who knows? The remainder of the season, we still got 30-plus games left. Anything can happen. But, man, what a blockbuster trade. Luka Doncic is a Los Angeles Lakers. They always find a way. They always find a way. Again, Magic. Well, let's go back. Kareem, Magic, Kobe, Shaq, LeBron, AD, Luka Doncic, and Bronny James. Shout out to Bronny, man. But it's amazing. It's truly amazing how they got to this point. Again, round of applause for Rob Pelinka and the Lakers, man. That just crazy how you can save your future just like that. Just like that. But enough on that trade. Twitter is spamming it as much as possible about this trade, giving you input. Again, though, I did want to mention LeBron had no knowledge of this until after his Knicks game, an hour later when he was having dinner with his family. So definitely going to be a lot of tears on those phone calls with AD and Bron. Again, they won a finals together. They have a close bond. They're practically family. But you live and you continue to live. Just made that up on the spot. Pretty good, right? You move on. Yeah, this is crazy, man. This is insane. But I wanted to talk about what I want to see prior to this trade deadline. What I want to see, and this means who do I want to leave and where do I want them to be traded to? The biggest name right now, he was the biggest name. De'Aaron Fox and Jimmy Butler, kind of neck and neck right now as big names. But there's going to be a 5-team trade someday. May even happen the minute you see this podcast. But De'Aaron Fox would be phenomenal on 3 teams and 3 teams only. The Miami Heat, the San Antonio Spurs, and my Houston Rockets. Where do I most want to see him? I want to see him play with Vic. De'Aaron Fox is a phenomenal point guard. And though they're under the Kings by a couple games in the seeding, De'Aaron wants to go and win basketball. Might not happen this season, but you're playing with an alien if he gets traded to the Spurs. And that would just be straight phenomenal for him. For Vic's growth, you're keeping somebody in your age range, right? Chris Paul has done an outstanding job being a leader for him, to helping Vic to develop into a top 5 player in the league. Dare I say? But it would just be amazing. But the Kings are gonna have to realize they're gonna have to. I'm not the Kings. The Spurs are gonna have to realize that Stephon Castle has to be thrown into this trade. Unfortunate as it is, if you guys end up getting De'Aaron Fox this season, again, in 2 years, if he wants to come there, he's gonna come there. So why mortgage your youth? But if you want right now, you're gonna have to give up Stephon Castle. As sad as it is. And who knows? Maybe Stephon Castle doesn't pan out to the expectation that everybody is now giving him as a phenomenal player he is. But he's really your 5-star trade, capital right now. Like if we were to put this in 2K, 4-star, 5-star player to trade right now because of how good he is as a rookie and how good he potentially could be when properly developed. Now again, you don't want to make this trade if you are guaranteed De'Aaron's going to be there in 2 years. So why waste? You could wait a couple years and then get him. But it's definitely a nice narrative to know that Vic has people that want to play with him. Who wouldn't? Vic is an outstanding player. I would go play with Vic if I was De'Aaron Fox too. If I was Luka and I'd demanded a trade, I'd go play with Vic. That would actually be outstanding if that really happened. But anyway, second team again, Miami Heat. With Jimmy Butler and his outrageous tantrums, even though it's not really tantrums, he's just playing the Jimmy Butler role, man. Like, get me out of here. I'm going to do it in a subtle way. I'm going to wear yellow and purple shoes to a game because why not? Suspend me. Doesn't matter. Get me out of here. And we know Jimmy Butler, when he wants to play basketball, when he's fully motivated, he is a hooper. He is the fight that the Suns currently need. And I know I was just talking about De'Aaron Fox, but I'm going to get to it. Get him into the 3-team, 4-team trade. De'Aaron comes to Miami. You have De'Aaron, Tyler, Duncan, Kevin Love, Bam, Hayward Highsmith, Pele Larson. Well, Pele Larson. I said Pele. Pele Larson. That's still a good team. A very good team. Very good. And just to make the money match, you're probably going to have to throw in Kevin Huerter with De'Aaron Fox if he's going to Miami, right? You have to. Or Kevin Huerter might get shipped somewhere else. Could be. But that would be an outstanding team. You have the Kentucky connection with Bam and De'Aaron. What more can you ask for? The best chemistry is when your team and the players have a relationship outside of basketball. That's the best form of chemistry. Not about how we play on the court. If you my boy, we can run. And that's how it goes. But again, that would be outstanding if Miami can get De'Aaron. Do I see it happening? There's a chance. Could happen in the next 4 days. And the last team, Houston Rockets. Do we need him? Not necessarily. Would we take him? Absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't take an all-star point guard? But do we want to mess up this chemistry? I don't fully support it. I don't. De'Aaron Fox, as good as he is, there's no guarantee he'll stay in the next 2 years because, again, he voiced that he wants to go to the Spurs. Not really voiced, but we all know it's leaked information. He wants to go to the Spurs. But if the Rockets are ending up trading for De'Aaron Fox, you're giving up Fred VanVleet, Reed Shepard, Cam Whitmore, some picks, or potentially Jabari Smith, Reed Shepard. That's how it's going to go. I love my youthful team, but if a piece has to go, a piece has to go. If we're getting an all-star point guard, I would love to have him. And then you have a lineup looking of De'Aaron Fox, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, potentially Bari, Amin Thompson, and Şengün. Amin needs to start. I'm done with talking about De'Aaron Fox now because now I'm talking about Amen Thompson. Amen Thompson is going to be a top 10 player in the league in the next 3 years, potentially sooner. He is outstanding, outstanding, outstanding. And recently in an interview with Jalen Green, he mentioned how, and this is why I love the Rockets, man. They're such a family. Jalen Green hyped up his brother. Amen Thompson is just such a great player. If he only developed and had a consistent jump shot to him, be scared. The Rockets got an alien at 4 that season. They were aiming for the 7-4 demigod Victor Wembanyama, but we got ourselves an alien too, 6'7", 200 pounds. Might be a little bit more, might be a little bit less, but Amen Thompson deserves to start. When Barry comes back, make him earn his minutes. And if they end up doing a lineup where Barry is starting, as unfortunate as it may sound, Jalen will be an outstanding 6-man. And hear me out. You have Fred, Dylan Brooks, Amen, Barry, Şengün. On the court together, they're amazing. And I want to see if I'm able to, off the top of my head, get. I gotta learn the websites. I gotta learn all of them. I need to learn the websites to find what's best. Looking at per, player percentiles. You know what I mean? Who's on the floor? Who's better off together? If you can help me out, send me those websites. Allow me to deep dive into them, understand them, so that I am properly prepared for these conversations we're having. That would really help. But as sad as it is, again, Jalen Green is our offense. He is outstanding. I've said outstanding like a billion times in this episode already. But Jalen Green, as inconsistent as he is at times, he is our number one scorer. But you can't bench Amen Thompson. And if you do bench somebody, say it's not Jalen Green, say he's starting at the 2, Fred, Jalen. I'd rather bench Jabari than bench Dylan Brooks. You saw what he did the other night. 10 threes against who? The Boston Celtics? How can you bench that, man? He's Dylan a villain. He's what we traded. Well, that's who we got in free agency. We're paying him this money, and he's bringing the tenacity that the Houston Rockets needs, that Ime Udoka loves, and this is why we're prospering as a team. So Amen deserves to start once Barry comes back. If we end up trading for De'Aaron Fox, it's going to be a lot of changes in that locker room, but not too much. Again, the team is their family. If De'Aaron comes in, hopefully they take him in with open arms, allow him to adapt to the Houston Rockets culture. The fans would love him. I mean, I would take him in open arms. Again, Rockets for life. But a lot in store for this upcoming end of free agency. The next move I want out, Brandon Ingram, Pelicans. Just get rid of him, man. I do understand that you have another star in the making in Trey Murphy III. What do you need Brandon Ingram for? And this was established before even the season started. You have potential in your team. You have wing depth. You have a youth that could potentially lead to great things in the future. But not only get rid of Brandon Ingram, get rid of Zion. Get rid of him. He can't stay healthy. Just as the Mavericks want to get rid of Luka for being 270, condition issues. If they can do that with Luka, what do you think you can get for Zion? Now, again, I feel like the Mavs could have got 10 times more if they were asked other teams. By all means, they would have got 10 times more. Apparently, there was a report saying that they've reached out to another team, but that team denied. Who's denying Luka? It depends on what your asking price is. But if Luka can go for one first-round pick, and again, this is AD attached to it. AD is a 5-star player, top 10 in the league when healthy. But what can you get for Zion? There's a team willing to give you some assets to boost up the bench, boost up health. So make those moves, man. Brandon Ingram, I would love to see him in a potential Warriors jersey, a Kings jersey, like I mentioned earlier. I feel like those would be great fits for him. What he can provide for Curry, like the Warriors need somebody, and Curry's not looking the best. He's an all-star, yes, but if you really look at his games, there's games where he's dropping 10 points, shooting 20% from the field, 30% from the field, 13 points. That's not the Curry we know, but you're relying so much on this man to win you games that it's just unfair. Curry has done so much for this team, but yet you're not willing to mortgage off your future. Man, bump Jonathan Kuminga. Bump Pods. Send them both to New Orleans, man. Get Brandon. Get Zion. Again, when Brandon Ingram's healthy, he's giving you 23 points. He's an all-star. Curry needs somebody to rely on. He can't do that with Wiggins and Kuminga only. Make the moves, Warriors. Get Brandon Ingram. I'm pushing 50 minutes of this podcast, man. First episode. I just want to say, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. Save some more information. Save some more. Save some more tantrum, right? Save some more passion for the game for a later episode. Hopefully, we can get some more trades going on in the next couple hours. You know what I mean? Next couple of days, so I can have some more stuff to talk about. But again, what an outstanding closure coming to this trade deadline for the 2024-2025 season. Very, very exciting. Very, very entertaining. Of course, once Dallas and Lakers play against each other, that's probably going to be one of the most watched games in NBA history. Very, very exciting. Go Rockets. Again, love this team. Love what they're doing. Love the coaching staff. Love the players. Very, very hopeful for our future. But let's talk about, just briefly, maybe a couple, 5 minutes in it. That way I'm not keeping you too long on this pod. But what it's like being in their 20s, man. Again, I'm 22, July 26, 02. Youthful mind, youthful heart. But I feel like your 20s are just life-changing every day. Every day is something new. Every day has its own struggle. Every day has something joyful to be joyful about, but it can be difficult. It really can, in all honesty. After you're a teenager, once you hit 20, man, you're expected to be an adult, sometimes very fast than others, and it's a lot to it. But the one piece of advice I can give is don't give up. As simple and cliche as that is, don't give up. There's a lot that you can learn from yourself, from the examples of others. And my biggest thing is find yourself a mentor if you haven't already, whether that be a family member, a friend. Wisdom comes in all ages, of course, but the best wisdom is coming from those that are older than you. They've experienced more, they've dealt with more. And in your 20s, I feel like having a mentor is the best thing you can do, because having a mentor, again, can be somebody very, very close to you. And it should be, because you want to be able to open yourself up to any type of conversation with that person you look up to. Days where you feel as low or it's difficult, and you need somebody to call. You need that person around. Go to their house, unload, and that's the best you can do in your 20s, man. You need somebody to help you progress in your 20s. Simple as that. There's days where it's difficult. Pop the question, hey, you know, I'm struggling with this. This happened. What would you have done in this situation? What should I do moving forward? How should I view it? Things that you can get proper insight in to help you make the best decision. But yeah, again, super brief. Just wanted to give one piece of advice in your 20s. Again, it gets hard, it gets difficult, but don't give up. There's a lot you can learn as you get older in your 20s. Because I can definitely say when I was 20 to me now, 22, I definitely wish I could have done some things differently. But you live and you learn and you move forward. And the only thing you can do is not repeat. You know, but again, don't give up. Find your mentor. Allow yourself to be loved by your close friends. Don't close yourself up, because even if you don't have a mentor, but you have those close friends and you just need to unload, that's what they're there for, to look out for you, right? So don't isolate yourself. Again, this is just a tad, maybe a couple minutes talking about the 20s. Again, this is part of the pod, and I want to discuss more on it in the future. But we're almost hitting an hour, man. And I'm just very excited for what this podcast has in store, especially this being my first one ever. A lot of stuff I still have to learn as far as the setup goes, recording wise, editing wise. So I will improve as it goes forward. But I really appreciate you listening, tuning in. Um, and yeah, man, Teo's Tantrum Live in Effect episode 1 has officially been completed. I appreciate you again for listening, watching. Feel free to share, please, to others, please. My IG is Papiteo_. Again, Twitter is probably the same thing, honestly. I haven't been on Twitter a lot. I'm mainly on it for NBA news, but Twitter is Papi_Teo. And I appreciate you coming to Teo's Tantrum, and I'm out. Peace.